Good morning, children. Today we'll be starting the next chapter, that is pressure in fluids and atmospheric pressure. So, a lot of things in this chapter you've already studied in class 8th. This chapter is a little extension to that. So, you should just recall some of the things that you have studied in class 8th, right? And I'll be telling you of a few things, and you will certainly remember them from class 8. Okay, so the first thing is thrust. What is thrust? It is the force acting normally on a surface, right? Like this is a surface, this plane of paper, this is a surface, and I can apply force in many directions. I can push it like this, or I can apply force like this, or from that side. But the force which I'll apply like this, that is perpendicular to the plane of paper, right? Like this force will be known as the thrust. That is the force acting normally on the surface. Now suppose I am not applying any force on this book and this notebook, then what force is this book exerting on the surface of the table? Is it exerting any force on the table? Yes, the force equal to the weight of this book. Okay, so you know that weight is always acting perpendicularly downwards, right? So that is a force which is acting normally to the surface. That means it is a thrust. So thrust exerted by a body placed on a surface is equal to the weight of the body, right? Now because thrust is a force, it is a vector quantity. Okay, SI unit same as that of force. So SI unit is Newton, CGS unit is dyne. You know that 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. Then you have also studied gravitational units in the previous chapter, right? So gravitational units are kg force and gram force, and 1 kg force is equal to 9.8 Newton. These are the things you have studied in your previous chapter, right? So 1 kg force is equal to 1 kg is the mass, so weight is equal to mass into gravity, acceleration due to gravity. So 1 kg force is equal to 1 multiplied by 9.8, so it becomes 9.8 Newton. Then 1 gram force is equal to 980 dyne. Now thrust per unit area of a surface is known as pressure, right? You have studied pressure in 8th standard. What is pressure? It is a force per unit area, right? So similarly, pressure can also be defined as the thrust per unit area. Thrust is the force. So you can either write it like this: pressure is equal to thrust upon area, or P is equal to F upon A, where F is the thrust here and A is the area. Pressure now is a scalar quantity. You should remember this, that pressure is a scalar quantity. Its SI unit is, from the formula you should be able to derive it. Pressure is equal to force upon area. Unit of force is Newton. Unit of area is meter square. So Newton per meter square is the SI unit. It is also known as Pascal and represented by capital P and small a, PA, right? CGS unit. The CGS unit of force is dyne. CGS unit of area is centimeter square. So CGS unit is dyne per centimeter square. Now gravitational units, use the gravitational units of force. So kgf per meter square, or the CGS gravitational unit will be gram force per meter square, right? These are all things you have studied in your previous chapter or in 8th standard. Now see, pressure is equal to force upon area, or the thrust upon area. That means, what are the factors on which pressure will be depending on? Thrust and the area, right? Pressure is equal to thrust upon area, so it will be depending on thrust and area. So area on which the thrust is applied and thrust. Now, this also we have discussed earlier, that when, say, F upon A, right? So, in order to increase pressure, what do we need to do? We need to decrease the denominator, right? That means we need to decrease the area. Okay. Or we can say that in order to increase P, we need to increase F, right? So these two things we can do. Excuse me. So you can say that larger the area, if A is greater, what will happen? P will be less. Larger the area, pressure will be less, and larger the thrust, pressure will be more, pressure will be greater, right? And also, in order to increase P, what we can do, we should decrease A, and or what we can do, we can increase thrust, or to decrease pressure, we should increase A, right? So you should be able to relate these things. P is inversely proportional to A, right? Then pressure in fluids. Now we are coming to the actual topic. So pressure in fluids. A fluid exerts pressure in all the directions at all points. Okay, this you have studied in your previous class. I hope you remember. Suppose this is a glass and water is filled in it up to this level, right? Then say, let me take this point inside the liquid. It will be exerting pressure in all the directions, right? In all the directions. So this is the case of fluid. It will be exerting pressure everywhere, and at all points, at this point, this point, this point, everywhere the same thing will be happening. So do you remember this experiment we had studied in class 8th? What is happening? They have filled a flask with water, and what you have to do, just pierce some holes into it. What will happen? From all the holes the water will start coming out, right? That means if you put a finger over there, you will feel the pressure. That means pressure is exerted at every point, right? Anywhere you put a hole, and the water will start coming out. Okay, and see this distance, the horizontal distance that this stream of water is going, as you are coming down this flask, right? What is happening? This distance is increasing. That means as you are coming down, the pressure is increasing. That means that pressure increases as the height from the surface of water increases. Okay, so you can see liquid pressure at a point increases with the increase of depth of point from its free surface. So from this surface, as you increase the depth, what will happen? The pressure will increase, and that is why this distance will increase, right? So this also you have studied in your previous class. And then pressure exerted by a liquid column is given by the formula P is equal to H rho G, right? You can also calculate this, derive this formula P is equal to H rho G. You can just go through it. See, suppose this is a flask filled with water or any liquid, right? Let us take a cylinder inside it. Okay, let us take a small cylinder into it, such that the height of the cylinder is this much. Now what we want to do, we want to know the pressure on this surface. Then For pressure we need to know the thrust first. So thrust is equal to the weight of the liquid, right? So weight of the liquid on this surface, on this area, this much liquid column is there, right? What do we want actually? Understand this. We want to know the pressure at a particular point. Suppose at point, this point, suppose at P. So what we have done, we have taken a small area over it. Then pressure, or you can say the thrust at this area will be equal to the weight of the water or liquid column above this. So this much, if we draw a cylinder over there, then this much volume of water is there to exert pressure on this much of area, okay, equal to this cylinder. So thrust is equal to the weight of this liquid column, right? And what will be the weight of this liquid column? Weight is always equal to mg, right? And m is equal to volume into density, right? M is equal to volume into density, and volume is equal to area into height, right? And pressure is equal to thrust upon area. That means A H rho G upon A. So A is gets cancelled out. P is equal to H rho G. This is the pressure exerted by a liquid column, right? Also, see, suppose if I take this point, then what is happening? This much of liquid column will be exerting pressure on it, and the atmosphere over it. This atmosphere is also exerting pressure over it. This the all the atmosphere above the water surface or liquid surface. So the total pressure is equal to the atmospheric pressure, that is denoted by P naught plus H rho G. Fine. So the total pressure is given by P naught plus H rho G. So what are the factors affecting the pressure at a point in a liquid? What are the factors? The depth of the point from the free surface, density of the liquid, and the acceleration due to gravity. These are the three factors that will affect the pressure acting at a point, right? So, and the pressure is directly proportional to all these three. Means if the height you should say the depth. So the depth increases from the free surface, pressure will increase. That means a point over here will be exerting less pressure, and a point over here will be exerting more pressure. Then if the density of the liquid increases, pressure will increase, and obviously on G, but because we are on earth, G is not going to change. So these are the factors, okay? So on what factors the pressure inside a liquid does not depend? The shape and size of the vessel. Whatever shape of the vessel you take, the pressure won't change, okay? And also the area of surface on which it acts. So though we had used area over here and here, right, but it got cancelled out, no? So the pressure is not depending on the area on which you are taking the pressure. So you either you consider the pressure at this particular point, or this whole area, or this whole. So you can say the pressure at this whole level will be same. Understood? If there is a glass like this, then the pressure at whole particular level, at every point at that level, all the points will be experiencing the same pressure, okay? So children, just go through this part from your book just once, and the things will be very much clear to you all. That's all for this lecture. Bye bye.